Calaroga Shark Media.
From the airport where you have a 7-hour delay, so you might as well listen to some AI-written jokes, this is Ballot.
That's right, and once your plane leaves the gate, you're still number 27 to take off. Let's hit this! I'm Patrick Gutfield, and buckle up for today's edition of Airplane, the Government Shutdown Remix. We're not just talking about a government shutdown anymore, we're talking about a full-blown aviation apocalypse that makes planes, trains, and automobiles look like a travel brochure. Here's the brutal reality. Even if the government lifts flight restrictions immediately, airlines won't recover for days. It's like trying to untangle holiday lights after your toddler got involved. Messy, complicated, and probably ending with someone crying. The aviation world's sending a message loud and clear. Our air traffic control system was already on life support before this shutdown. They've got a $12.5 billion modernization budget, and yet we're operating an air traffic control system that feels more vintage than cutting edge. Let's break down the math. 14,000 air traffic controllers are doing the work of 17,000. They're working longer, harder, and oh yeah, for free. Some are picking up second jobs just to survive. It's like asking a surgeon to perform emergency operations while also working the night shift at a convenience store. The FAA solution? Cut flights by 4%. That's government problem solving at its finest. It's like fixing a leaky roof by removing 4% of the house. The result? 1 in 10 flights didn't take off this weekend. That's not a travel delay. That's a transportation meltdown. And Trump's response? Threaten air traffic controllers working without pay, then maybe, just maybe, toss them a $10,000 bonus. It's like telling someone, work for free, and if you're really good, I might buy you dinner, eventually. These controllers are showing up, managing our skies, juggling second jobs just to make rent, and Trump's response? I'm not happy with you. Classic management technique. Nothing says leadership like criticizing people working for $0. When asked how he'd pay these mythical bonuses, Trump's response is peak Trump. I don't know, I'll get it from someplace. Because government funding is basically like finding loose change in the couch cushions. Laura Ingraham had President Trump on Fox News Monday night, and for once, he didn't get the usual softball interview he's used to. Instead, Ingraham spent the entire segment asking him actual questions, and here's the shocking part, following up when his answers made no sense. Before the interview even aired, there were warning signs. Ingraham posted a preview video on Facebook at 5 p.m., filmed in the Oval Office, where she asked Trump about his beloved gold decorations. So these aren't from Home Depot? That clip mysteriously didn't make it to air, which is probably for the best, since internet sleuths previously claimed some of Trump's gold applique looked suspiciously like $58 items from Home Depot that someone spray-painted gold. Trump, for the record, insists you can't imitate gold, real gold. There's no paint that imitates gold, which would be news to literally every hardware store in America. But the real fireworks came when Ingraham started asking about policy. She brought up housing costs and the fact that the average age of first-time homebuyers is now 40 years old. Trump immediately tried to deflect, "We inherited that, you have to understand." Ingraham cut him off. "Let me get to the question, though." She then asked about his heavily criticized 50-year mortgage plan, noting there's been significant MAGA backlash to the idea of Americans taking 5 decades to own their homes. Trump's response? It's not even a big deal. I mean, you go from 40 to 50 years. Ingraham corrected him. It's 30 to 50 years. And Trump pivoted to blaming Joe Biden and his lousy Fed person, Jerome Powell, who he noted is going to be gone in a few months. When Ingraham asked why people are anxious about the economy, Trump said, "I don't know that they are saying that. I think polls are fake. We have the greatest economy we ever had." This is quite a statement considering Republicans just got demolished in New Jersey and Virginia elections last week. Ingraham pressed him. Do voters have the wrong perception of his economic claims, or does the GOP need to do more to convince them? Trump went with his default setting. More than anything else, it's a con job by the Democrats. Costs are way down. Then came the segment about Trump's Truth Social. Post offering a $10,000 bonus to air traffic controllers who kept working during the government shutdown. Ingraham pointed out there are a lot of delays now, sir. Trump said he was not happy when he saw people refusing to do unpaid work. Look, life is not so easy for anybody. Our country has never done better. We should not have had people leaving their jobs. Ingraham asked the obvious question. Where is that money coming from? Trump's answer? I don't know. I will get it from someplace. I always get the money from someplace, regardless. It doesn't matter. That's the president's fiscal policy, everyone. I'll get it from someplace. It doesn't matter. The interview moved to foreign policy, with Ingraham citing a CNN report on China expanding missile facilities. China are not our friends, sir, she said. Trump replied, they don't want to mess around with us. Ingraham pushed back. They spy on us. They steal our intellectual property. Trump's counterargument. Do you think the French are better? When Ingraham said yes, Trump replied, I'm not so sure. We've now reached the point where the president is defending China by suggesting France might be worse. Then Ingraham brought up foreign students, mentioning Trump's own figure of 600,000 Chinese students in America. Why, sir, is that a pro-MAGA position when so many American kids want to go to school and there are places not for them, and these universities are getting rich off Chinese money? Trump said without foreign students, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business. Ingraham's response, so what? Trump, I think that's a big deal. Ingraham said America was dependent on China to fund universities. Trump doubled down. You don't want to cut half of the people, half of the students from all over the world that are coming into our country, destroy our entire university and college system. I don't want to do that. Ingraham, I wouldn't lose any sleep. MAGA was my idea, Trump said. It was nobody else's idea. I know better than anybody else, MAGA wants to see our country thrive. This is quite the contrast from Ingraham's visit to the Oval Office back in March, when she let Trump show off his Coke button and complain about the Rose Garden needing to be paved over. Monday's interview saw her actually doing journalism, which must have been deeply confusing for everyone involved. Ingraham's been sharpening her approach lately. Last month, she interviewed House Speaker Mike Johnson about the government shutdown and called him out for making points that were not true. Apparently, she's decided that holding politicians accountable applies even to the guy with the gold-plated Oval Office who gets his money from someplace. Corporate America's latest genius strategy? Force employees back to the office or force them out? Paramount's CEO David Ellison just pulled off the corporate equivalent of a hostage negotiation. Come back 5 days a week or take the buyout. 600 employees said, we choose door number 2. Walking away with a combined $185 million in severance. Ellison's justification? The most formative moments happen when you're a fly on the wall. Translation. I want you in uncomfortable pants, sitting in fluorescent lighting, listening to Dave from accounting talk about his fantasy football league. This isn't a return to office policy. This is corporate culling disguised as team building. A recent survey shows 25% of executives are basically using office mandates as a stealth layoff strategy. It's like corporate Hunger Games. May the workplace flexibility be never in your favor. Maybe these guys can get jobs as air traffic controllers. Portions of today's show were made with the help of AI.